Good, good. I came out to the southern states here, I believe, in 2002. Could have been 2001, but I'm just about positive it was 2002. Let me go over this one more time, okay? First off, building on curiosity. Now that I understand has been a predominant factor. It's never been specifically fully understood, but I understand it's extremely desirable. And see, that is what I understand where I stated how it originated. It was all the way back to age 3. Build on curiosity, and then how you gonna learn it? Go out there and learn it and come back to us and let us know. Instead of just simply a belief and trust. I understand that is normal. In addition, very strong investigative skills. What else is in there as far as that goes? I understood that it's very desirable that building on curiosity and curiosity, growth, and maturity goes on indefinitely. I understand it's about as the best you can get. And I mentioned Steve, and that guy has just a rundown, overall assessment. And I've had this assessment again by thousands of people who, some of them, told me in their select field of specialization, those are social science professors, in Lake Forest and up and down. Normal. It's a higher level of growth and maturity than most people achieve in their lifetime. So I'm taking a guess. It's very favorable. I have never looked at it very in depth. Has never been a reason to. I just know I'm very fortunate in that respect. That is true. Impressed at a very early age by a mother who knew exactly what she was doing. Build on curiosity, growth, maturity goes on forever. So that's the way I know all about me now from other people. Okay? I've mentioned Walter Jacobson. That's just something that, since he was, when I was younger, a lot of influence. And of course I've mentioned, where it all started with all of what I've stated. I'm just going to repeat it again. All of my background, absolutely. I'm fully incorporated of the incorporated norm. Only the highest level of honesty, integrity, and the healthiest context, okay? That's all I know. That's me. Yes, I've been told over and over again, I'm highly intelligent, and all of what I mentioned is an introduction. Very good reason I selected that context. Okay, we're heading towards a chronological experience. Okay, I'm learning. Okay, I know 100% what's true for sure. The healthiest context. And I understand the most solid business practices because the experience I've described from 1986 that concluded in 2001. I've only retained about 0.5% of those records, but I did retain some. That's very important. That is something I have to be thoroughly honest about. Okay? I am someone at the very highest level from a top business management, graduate management Okay, and I have a feeling that's it's highly recognized as far as one of the best in the country. I don't know for sure that sector, but I do know that the most solid business practice is creating success, the highest level of what's most important. And that's how I came out here, and I expected that to continue. Okay? I anticipated that I was in a population base of somewhere. I understood Birmingham was actually 1 million, and I think Atlanta. Now all I know is that career is very, very important. And I came out to an area that's highly populated. It's not like there's farm fields out here. You know, this is an area where there's a very wide diversification. I expected, without any question, to create success. And let me be honest with you, I came out here with close to $100,000. As I mentioned, my credit is just absolutely perfect. So I had about $200,000 equivalent, and I didn't know anything about this area yet. I just knew what had been true, you know, throughout my life. And that was about to change. And I was out here, I want to be honest, I did come out here semi-retired, but I was all ready to pick up a successful career very quickly. Let me ask you this. Does it make any difference? Any difference? The address you live at. Okay? I am living in equivalent for the city of Birmingham, consistent to my background, at least for the city. Okay? I'm a very high quality individual, I understand. I've got to say my experience, regardless, has been outstanding with almost every single person I've related out here. Adaptability, okay? I'm someone who's extremely fortunate by what I'm able to imitate from a lifelong experience. And I didn't even have a second thought. I'd pick up a successful career very quickly. And that's what my goal was. Okay? So, it's true. I was out here for a brief time, a year or two. Okay? And on a very specific date, I was all ready to continue on. And what I understood is I paid a fortune for services over my lifetime, and what I understand is the highest level of this intended purpose. I don't have to question it. Okay? I was about to learn about a completely different incorporated norm. That's a very large population base between Atlanta and Alabama here. That's a huge population base. I expected that with that experience, it would be a piece of cake, because I learned something. And what I didn't know, I did know I was going exactly for a PhD in vocational psychology, because that's where it left off. It's exactly what I was going for. So let me share an experience here, okay? A very specific date. I have to look at the exact records. I am backing everything up, so I've got everything fully documented. I scanned those resume records. Now, I should have kept all of it. I made a huge mistake of discarding all of those references. I made a huge mistake. And I had equivalent, I'm taking an estimated guess of 5,000 to 6,000. I don't know exactly how many. It was a lot. It was a huge amount of invoices that I kept. That was in the good old days, you know, just before computers came in. I got a little late there. Okay, because I understand they actually become available about 1995. I didn't get into a computer until about 2002. Okay, and everything was, I kept everything. Kept all the invoices. As I mentioned, in Lake Forest, but what I can tell of that 8-year period, it was 2,000. And I'm estimating 100 of those were the PhDs in vocational psychology. Those are the most influential because it's such a top business environment. And it was something where we had that in common. It's very outstanding as far as that EQ. I can roll off the references just by recollection. And thank God I kept those appointment books. There's very little that's entered into there. There's a huge amount. I'd say 99% of that was never entered because a lot of times I didn't enter it into the appointment book. I would maybe put it on the invoice instead. But I did keep some of the records. It's very important. I scanned those onto PDF files and I've still retained them from 1986 through 2001 up to today. They are incomplete, but they do absolutely substantiate and prove. And the only thing I've experienced has been the highest level of honesty and integrity. Okay? That's what I anticipate. That's a huge population base. A couple of million? It'd be a piece of cake. Okay? What happened though? Let me tell you about something. This is hard for me to believe that this could happen. I got a helping hand, okay? And I sure did all right. And I can say to this day, I got a helping hand of something that I can honestly say for the United Way is completely foreign, something I wouldn't even question. I understand the South is not quite as intelligent as the North. Well, I'm going to say it took me a while to begin to understand, okay, because of my nature. I have to say, I had to learn this. I had to build on the curiosity and learn with the background of the highest level of, I learned later it was EQ, okay? I got a helping hand from the United Way and led into a system unheard of. Okay? And it is unheard of. You take it the highest level of honesty, integrity, and what's been true about my background. Okay? I'm going to label this 2002 and 2003 because that's where it all started. 2004. Every bit of this should have been based on the highest level of honesty, integrity, the healthiest context, consistent with my background. And I'm going to share an experience here, which I expect the truth to come out. Okay? This is something which I should have immediately relocated back up north in 2004. I stayed down here, okay? Now let me label this 2002 and 2003, just so you know, regardless of what you hear down south here, 99.9% of the people are good people. I've had a very positive experience with the vast majority of them. The culture is different. That's true. There is a cultural difference. But no matter where I go, what's true about my background, and that amount of population base should be consistent. So thank you. I'm going to just label this 2002 and 2003. Okay? I'm about to experience, which I have learned now. I'm jumping ahead by 6, 7, 8 years. Okay, I'm going to guarantee you this is such a different incorporated norm. I wouldn't believe it. Yes, I now realize in 2004, the most important aspect would have immediately gotten back up north. But I stayed down here. I didn't know anything about this kind of incorporated norm. There was no, let me share it. I'm ready to share it. Built on the curiosity. I had to learn it first and experience it, right? Also, I'm on the context at the highest level of business practices, at the highest level of intended purpose, only on the highest level of honesty and integrity. I am going to be thoroughly honest. I keep stating that because that's all I know. I'm going to label this one 2002, 2003, and begin a specific change. Now I've got all the records I've kept, okay? I've got everything. I'm going to have to go back, and there is a lot, because I tell you, it should have been right there. I'm ready to share it. I'm going to label this, however, 2002 and 2003 was something which is quite a bit different. Thank you. Thank you very much. I didn't know about it. I've learned it. I've experienced it. You got all my background. I would say I'm ready to share it. Thank you. That'll be up next.